It's not going to work on displaying all the posts. So we're going to start from the backend, and I'm going to display everything for now, because when we have like followers and friends, then we're going to show the post depending on who you follow and who you are friend with. Okay, for now we're just going to show everything. So we're going to go to the routes for posts. We're going to create a new route. This is going to be a get request. So I'm going to go and create a route. Let's call it get all posts, and use the same name for the function. At least import it from here. And for now, let us pass the auth user, because I don't need notification while using Postman. Then when we go to the front end, we're gonna do it. Okay, let's go back to the post and let me create this function. It's gonna be an async function, request response, simply the try catch usual, and then we're gonna use this to return. Okay, like that. And then I'm gonna go right here and simply gonna have const post, which is gonna use a wait, and then go to the post model and just find everything. So we're gonna get everything for now, and simply we're gonna send it back, simply like that. And you're gonna go to Postman to show you. So let me create a new request. So add request, let's call it get all posts, and this is simply http / it's gonna be get all posts for the routes, and this is gonna be get and send. And you wait, and you're gonna see you have the array of all the posts we have in the database. Okay, so now let's go back to the front end and let's display them. So now we're gonna go back to the front end and work on the function in the app.js. Okay, so before we used to send the request to the backend, we used to have a loading state, an error state, and then the response, which can be managed and doable in a better way using the useReducer function in React, which is quite similar to the React store. So let me just read that source. Let me explain it. So we can have a function right here. It's going to be pretty simple. Just go with me and step by step you'll understand. Let's call it reducer, which simply take the same state and action that we have in the Redux. Okay, like that. And then we're going to use the switch, and the type is going to be action.type. Okay, and right here we can switch between the cases that we have. So the first case is going to be, let's call it fetch request, or a better understanding, let's call it post request. Okay, so that's the first case. And then we're going to return an object. We're going to spread the state, and the loading is going to be true. Okay, let me just change that. And the error is going to be empty. Okay, so that's the first case. When we start sending a request, in the beginning, we're going to have the state normally, and then the loading be true and the error be false. So this is, usually what we had. Also, we're going to have another case, which is going to be, post success. Now everything went all right, and we got, the response without any problem. So return, and simply right now, we're going to have the state. And when we get the response and everything, the loading is gonna be false. Okay, and we can have the post, which is the array that's gonna have the post, which is gonna be the action.payload. Okay, and also the error is gonna be empty because everything went all right. So that's the second case. The third case, as you understand now, is gonna be post. Okay, error. Okay, and in this case, we're gonna simply return, and simply we're gonna spread the state. Okay, and the loading, I can't go without any typos. Okay, and the loading is gonna be false. Okay, and also the error is the one that we're gonna get now from the payload dot payload, or not payload, but sorry, the action dot payload. Okay, and also we're gonna have a normal state, which is the default, and then the default simply return the state. Okay, so this is the function. So it's actually pretty simple. When we send the request in the beginning, we're going to dispass the action, which is going to be post request, so we can make the loading true, and the error is going to be false and all the other stuff. And then when we get everything, we can just submit the post success action, and then we're going to get we're going to set the loading to false, and we get post. So we're going to just simply, when we get them, we're going to make them in this array that's called post, and when we have an error, we're going to make the loading false, and then the action payload is going to be the actual error. Okay, so we can go back right here to the application, and you're going to understand it's actually pretty simple. Let me just add it right here. So we're going to const, and let's have you can have like an array right here. Okay, and the array is going to have the object, the first one, the same way that we have them right here. Okay, so what we're going to have is simply going to be the loading and also the error, and we're going to have the post. Okay, another thing that we can have is the dispatch, which is, you know, usable the same way that we had on React Redux. So this is going to be equal to use reducer, which is the function I've called from React. Okay, and then we're going to pass the function which is going to be the reducer that we had right here. Okay, as you see, and then we're going to simply set the values, the default values in the beginning. So loading in the beginning is going to be false. Okay, and then the post going to be empty. Okay, and then error is going to be empty. Okay, so this is like the default value. So first let me fix this typo. It's going to be loading. Okay, and after this let's create the function. Okay, so let's call it get posts. Okay, all posts, which is going to be an async function. Okay, like this, and we simply list everything we need right here. Okay, so we're gonna have a try catch. Okay, and this is gonna return, or we can simply, instead of returning, just simply go directly, you know, and dispatch the error action. So we can simply just use dispatch like this. Okay, and just the type is gonna be as we had right here, post error. Okay, and that's automatically gonna set the state here is gonna be stay the same. The loading is gonna be false, and the error is the error that we're gonna pass in the payload. And in the payload, okay, it's gonna be error dot response dot data dot message. We've done this before. Okay, so this is a better way to do it. Also right here we're gonna have const data, or before that let's dispatch the action. So maybe just go right here and take that, have it right here. We don't need no payload. Okay, and this is going to be post request, and they're going to set the loading, you know, to loading set to true, and also if we have any errors it's going to empty it. Okay, and right, you're going to use await axios, okay, dot get. I'm going to simply backticks process dot env dot, I always forget it, backend URL, and it's going to be / it's called get all posts. Okay, and simply right here we don't actually need to pass anything, except that we also can send the header, because I want to make it with the authentication user. So authorization, which is going to be, okay, it's going to be bearer, and it's going to be the user dot token. Okay, so we can go also back to the backend and add the auth now. So in the backend, in the routes, in the post, we can add the auth user. Okay, because we send in the token now. Okay, because it's necessary. Only like the users can do this. Okay, and then right here we can dispatch the action. I feel like this is way better and more cleaner. Okay, so this is gonna be post success, like that. And the payload is going to be simply the data that we got from there. Okay, so you don't need to go from here, set this and have 3 different states. I feel like this is better. And now we can just have like a use effect. Let's have it here, which is gonna run when the page loads. Okay, so right here, when the page loads like this. Okay, so we simply can call the function gets all posts, simply like this. Okay, so also we can just like let me see what's next. Okay, gets all posts. I feel like we don't need it. We don't need it. It's just gonna run once. Okay, so simply now we can try this. Okay, and let me just console log the posts, and we're gonna see if we have any posts. Okay, so we can go back right here. Let me maximize this, open the console, and let me refresh and see if we get any errors. Let me refresh. Okay, so we get this 404 not found. Okay, so it's probably a typo. I'm sure it's gonna be a typo. Okay, it's a typo. This is gonna be backend. Okay, and gets all posts. Okay, if I remember, let me go copy it from here. This is the route, and let's try again. So let me refresh. Okay, and as you see, we still have it. We still have another typo. Process.env.backend URL. Backend. Oh, sorry, it's gonna be React app. I'm very stupid, you know. Let me now refresh. And as you see, we got the array that we want right here. And as you see, we have all the elements that we're gonna need. So there are 7 or 8 posts right here from 0 to 7, that's 8. And they have all the information related to the posts. So now we can just map through the array and show all the posts. So let's remove this console log right here and go to the routes for the home. We're gonna need them in the home so we can pass them. So we're gonna go post equal posts, okay, like this, and we can go to the home page and get them. All right, so we can get the posts. Again, simply after the create post, we can go right here and just map through all of it. So we can go post.map, and then we're gonna get every single post, okay, and then simply we're gonna return a div that's gonna be called the post, okay, and then simply right here we're gonna have a key which is gonna be this called is post._id, and also this, for example, show the post.id, okay, for now, because we're gonna work on a lot of things right there, okay. So now as you see right here we have the 8 post IDs, but of course it's not gonna be like this. It's gonna be displayed the proper way we want.